Hello, and welcome to episode 8 on the Ripple Effect server. Today, here we are underneath the witch farm, over in one of the corners in the underneathings, and here we are ready to see the Blue Orchid farm. So, we have things we need for a Blue Orchid farm. We need bone meal, we need some grass, which we have there. And what else do we need? Oh, we need to be in a swamp, and luckily we are. So first of all, we have this, a skeleton farm. So this is a very simple single spawner farm. We come in here, kill them. While they're shooting around, we will come to the side and have a look. There is the spawner. And in a moment, hopefully, it will spawn some skeletons like that. Here they come, get washed away. And then they pop, pop, funny little noise, shoot up the water elevator. Right, so here, just water streams pushing across. We have to come down one level because we need it to go this far. Then we get onto some cobblestone wall. This lifts the skeletons up to this level, where we hold back the water with open fence gates. And then when we see some skeletons spawning in any second now, there they go, they come here, they get pushed up over the cobble wall and into this block here, and then shoot up this elevator on the soul sand. Now this bottom block, obviously they all need to be water sources for this type of elevator to work. The bottom block needs to be flowing to the right in this case, so the skeletons don't just get stuck sort of half in this block. Without the flowing to the right, they can just get stuck out of this one part in here, and unless they happen to wander to the right, they won't actually shoot up because they need to be fully in here. We might better eyes them close, that's convenient, and there you are. See how they get dragged to the right and then shoot up. Oh, we've got some lights on there, we can turn the farm off if need be. So from there, they go around some water streams, come down here and drop into the chamber of killing. And then one hit can kill them all. I think it's actually one block out on the drop. I think they actually take 2 hits without a sword. But with Sweeping Edge, which is a sword anyway, if I get some extra junk in my inventory, I can chuck it in there. Or chuck it in one of these chests to use as a disposal chest. And yeah, that's pretty simple. Obsidian block there to stop us accidentally smashing the glass. It's a bit harder to break obsidian with my sword. We split the drops, some that way, then they float up, some that way, and they float up. Go around water stream. We sort out just the bones, the rest gets destroyed by cactus. And then the items come down here for the bone storage. So very simple and easy, that's how we get the bones. Right, out here to the Blue Orchid farm. Here is where we load up the bone meal. Click this lever and it will start filtering round to fill up the place with bone meal. Again on this side, you manually load these up with bone meal. And we turn this one on as well, and this will start filling up this side of the farm. So we've got sort of 2 sides here, so we pull out of these with 2 hoppers, which means we can throw out on each side of the farm 5 bone meal per second. There's no sort of automatic system of knowing when it's full, so what we do have here is an indicator light that shows you bone meal that's coming around the system hasn't been picked up, because at the moment the farm's full of bone meal. And same on the other side, so you sort of just manually turn it off if you're loading it after you've used it, or you can leave it running while you're going to use the farm. So here we have a chest where we put in shulker boxes ready to load up, and here is our storage system where we've got shulker boxes full of Blue Orchid. So time to turn the farm on. We turn this switch on here. This starts bone mealing and flowing water. There you are, you can see things happening. Now I will just switch over to a camera cam because it makes it easier to see inside the farm. Actually, because I'm recording as well, although it's amazing, it doesn't cause that much lag. I will actually turn off the bone meal loaders on this, because recording and running two versions of Minecraft is causing a few frame issues here. Right, I'll be back in just one moment. Right, so here I am back on my cam account. Alright, it's still flowing through on the right hand side. The bone meal was just then. We will go and look in that farm in a second. We will just have a look above the skeleton, which probably got not spawning any at the moment. So we're spinning round. Right, this is where the skeletons pop up. They just come along these water chutes. We sort of force them in a bit because we want them to be in a 3 wide bit in the middle. And we just filter them all down here. And they beautifully drop straight down there. And that's how we get the skeletons. Right, over to the It's Not Crazy Blue Farm at all. Blue Orchid Farm. Right, this is, where's a good view? It's where you can see how it's working. It's spawning. See if I can see some platforms better. Spawning those orchids, flushing them, spawning more, and then flushing more. We are growing quite a lot. We are flushing quite a lot. And we have a lot of entities bouncing around. So it's amazingly not as laggy as I thought it might be. But obviously it can cause some local FPS issues with all these updates. So here is the middle channel where they all flow down. Lots of good stuff. Well, blue flowers and seeds. We don't care about the seeds at all. So let's go here for the collection system. Right, the seeds just go straight across into the cactus because we are not interested in them. It is very handy if you suddenly wanted some seeds for something, you could just take the cactus out and they just flow off the end and you get a few seeds very quickly. So what have we got here? We've got item sorters. We have 6 of them. This one is, yeah, they've all, well, not close enough to see that one. So this one, as you can see, is struggling to keep up. It's sort of maxing out a bit. Same as that one is struggling to keep up. That one's pretty much maxed out. The third one, that's coping on 41, 40, yeah. So basically we're running between 3 and 4 hoppers worth of blue flowers. And so each hopper can do 2.5 items a second. So we're maxing out 3, which is 7.5 items a second, but we're not quite doing 10 items per second. So we're not quite doing 10 blue orchids per second. The reason why we have the extra 2 on the end is, especially as items clump together, they can end up as a small clump, which means that the first 3 or 4 hoppers don't always manage to keep up. So we've got a little bit of overflow, and this one is a super overflow, which very rarely gets 1 items at all. And then from there, what do? We pull the items. Oh, it sounds very weird. Although the sounds might be annoying, I don't appear to have any sounds at all. Won't put it on too loud because it's a bit annoying. That sounds better. Right, so here we have 2 item elevators pumping out orchids over to the left side for our collection system. Each one of these item elevators is capable of doing 5 items per second, so we can cope with 10 items per second. Occasionally, if you see, it looks like you may get the odd blue flower that hits the cactus, but we've done quite a lot of testing without the cactus there, and literally blue orchids do not make it past. I think it's just a visual glitch sometimes. So from here, the blue orchids only come down here, and then if I go up here one more layer I can see it, and this is where they get collected by 1, 2, 3, basically 4 hoppers, and we've got a 5th as an overflow, and then a chest on the end just in case we don't pick it up. But here we have 2 shulker box loaders, beautifully built by Magoo. So because we're pumping out so many items per second, we need 2 shulker box loaders to cope with the amount of blue orchids. And then once the shulker boxes are full, if I come around here, I think I can just about poke in and see. Yeah, so here you see they're filling up with blue orchids quite nicely. On one, where's the other one? Over here. This one a bit further behind in doing that. Then the boxes get dropped down into here. And that was an annoying beep. Oh, it's still going. Right, so here we have some blue orchids. Right, okay, let's go back up at the farm and quickly look through what we're doing. Yeah, it's relatively simple. We have a dispenser underneath here, which is pumping up bone meal. We feed the bone meal in through here, all the way into there. And when we run the filling up the bone meal thing, let's go and turn one of them on. Not on this account, I can't. Okay, I won't bother. I can show you that in a minute. The bone meal zips up this elevator and sort of zigzags around the side of the farm. Where's the water stream? There's the water stream there, so that the bone meal will get picked up by these hoppers. That's a weird water update to these flowing things. That's weird. That water isn't connected. Why is it looking like it is? Oh, it's because it's diagonally going through the block. It's sort of updating the water. Strange. Right, so yeah, so this produces a reasonable amount of blue orchids. Magoo said I'd gone a bit crazy in the size of this farm, but I don't know. I'm wondering whether I should have gone bigger. I could always build another one. It is quite glorious watching all the falling blue orchids. I do love it. And they get whizzed away down the middle to these sorters at the other end. I could sit here and watch this for a while. We've got some like doors down the end just to give us access to get back in here if we need to. Just saves breaking blocks. The doors are placed in a way that they won't interfere with the flowers. And it's difficult to work out. I would say per piece of bone meal, per platform, it's about probably 1 to 3 blue flowers each time. Looks like about, I'd say 90% of the stuff gets pushed off with the water. Occasionally you get a few items that are not quite pushed off with an individual flush of water, but the next flush you'll get it, and it may mean at the end of the fart, when you turn it off, you end up with a couple of items lying around. But when you're producing a decent output, it doesn't really matter if you lose a few. So yeah, so you can run this for quite a long time without having to fill up with bone meal. But eventually you will need to add more bone meal into the system. And you can just sit here watching it. It's like it's raining blue orchids. Where do they come from? Oh, all over. This sort of size pad seemed a reasonable combination between how many blocks bone meal will cause to grow and the sort of coverage of the water. I wanted to be as efficient as I could be with the bone meal, so I've gone sort of quite big on the platform. Sometimes you might go a little bit smaller on a platform like this per each bone meal. And yeah, so that's coming down here. And have we got any more? Oh yeah, another shulker box. Probably won't be long and we'll have another one. I will quickly switch back to the other account. Hello and welcome back on the other account. Let's really try and stress out my computer by adding the bone meal in. It's maybe a mistake. So how many boxes are we up to now? We've still got 3. Let's get the next one and then I'll turn that off. So other than trying to record at the same time, it's actually been pretty good running everything at once. I was a little bit concerned that it would actually cause the server quite a headache to do everything at once, but it doesn't seem to be too bad. The server doesn't seem to mind that much. My local client at the moment we're recording is struggling a little bit. But I think the bone meal can fill up slightly quicker than it's used, approximately. It's around about that similar time. So if you have everything running, you can literally go for some time while you're burning through all that bone meal. And have we got that extra box yet? Down here, wasn't it? Oh, we're still on 3. Come on. My farm needs to be faster. I need to make it faster. And obviously, if you really want to push everything to the limit, then of course you can come in here while the farm's going, getting skeletons spawning as well as all that blue stuff. Just double check no one else was on the server at the time. Don't like to push the server too hard when other people are trying to do big stuff as well. So yeah, so I could stand here and collect more bones while I am creating blue. Then I have white and light blue at the same time. But let's move away from there. Have we got that 4th box? Yes, we have. Let's turn it off for the time being, because that's a bit of light blue orchids to keep me going. And then we just have to wait for the bone meal to flush around the system. Especially we can go and see some bone meal flushing. How do I get up here? I remember. Let's go up to the top. Come on. Climbing ladders, complicated technology. Carpet here is because of slime chunks. Right, so here the bone meal comes up a water elevator, and along here it then zigzags like along this water stream, down one floor, and then it comes along through this next water stream. And so like this hopper will pick up, oh, I picked up some bone meal then, I think. This hopper will pick up the bone meal as it goes. So it sort of fills from the top of the farm first. Let's go to the bottom. I can see how short we are. Yeah, so we've used it's not refilling these yet, so we've used what, not quite 3 stacks of bone meal in this one. Obviously there are 10 on each side. I can't remember how many floors I did now. I think it's about 5 floors. Each side has 2 dispensers on. That's where the collection system is, and this side is pretty much a mirror of the other side. And the way we power here is we run a redstone signal from below, and then we look at it from observer from above and from the side. The observer from the side runs off to power the bone meal dispenser, and then we wrap this redstone through a slight delay on this repeater into this this is probably a dispenser which dispenses out the water. So that's sort of how the circuit works. We do it from, I did leave a ladder on this side. Where is our circuit? Here somewhere, when we've got it turned on, is there's the on-off switch, and we run a very simple comparator clock. Then this runs off to here, we split it to both sides, and we just use observers to put the power up. So that's for one set of dispensers, and that's for the other set. There's a lot of stuff going off, and that's because of these noisy rackets sending all the bone meal down these water chutes up the side, and there's one on this side as well. There it is. If we go out the front, we'll give you an indication of whether it's full up now, because we will basically know if it's full up if these lights are constantly or almost constantly on, because that's just showing you that bone meal's coming back through the system after going round and round. Now we can, because of grouping up items, it's possible the light will come on a few times before it's totally full, but once it's on like this, it should indicate it's pretty full, or rather completely full. So if I go up here, this one I think is the last, yeah, I'm picking up bone meal through the diagonals now. Let's turn that racket off because we're happy that it's there. Let's put some bone meal back in. It will take a while for the bone meal flowing around the system to filter through here, so we've still got some left, which is good. So it shows that we've only used, these were basically full up to this point, so we've used what, like 9, 18, yeah, some stacks. So that is about it on the Blue Orchid farm. Let's shut the door. All the bone meal's finished flowing through now, so it's all gone silent. So yes, if you want a decent amount of blue orchids, you just run this for a while, and you have blue orchids. And very handy for making places pretty with blue orchids, or just for making light blue dye. So from a skeleton to a flower, and that's about it. A little bit of decoration around here on the floor, but the area is still pretty big with lots to do. So there you have it, the Blue Orchid farm. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching. If you liked it, please remember to leave a like. Please ask any questions, comments in the comments section below. And please don't forget to subscribe if you really liked it. Thank you again. Goodbye.